So welcome back to the Drive channel. Today you find me in the workshop again, and I'm about to do a little bit of fix / maintenance on another British car. So I have this 2009 LR2, and for about the past year or so it's had the check engine light on it. Now this car is so old that it's I don't have to get the emissions tested, so that's why I've been able to go so long without messing with it. But it hesitates, it doesn't run well. I talked to an expert friend of mine, and he said, he asked me, are you running expensive fuel in it? And I said, of course not. It has 150,000 miles on it. And then he asked me, so when was the last time that you changed the spark plugs in the car? And I looked at my watch and I said, oh, about half past never. So that may be the problem. I guess we'll find out today. So I'm going to replace the spark plugs. On the way back from buying the spark plugs, I filled the car up with 93 octane. And we'll circle back in a week and see if that actually did something. So this is the inline six. It's basically a Volvo design, and it's a very compact straight six. In other words, the cylinders are very close together. So from here to here is really where the engine, that's the total length of the engine, which is more like a four-cylinder. But it is a straight six. So I've got to get rid of the superfluous bits. And there we go. So those are the injectors, and the spark plugs are there. So this should be interesting. Okay, so all of the leads to the spark plugs have been removed. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I removed some of the other ancillary, I guess, wires, just to give myself a little bit more room. So I have to remove the 2 bolts, or I'm sorry, just 1 bolt that holds the boot in there. So let's get cracking. Okay, so there's the first boot. It looks like it's in pretty good shape. Yeah, looks pretty good. Okay, so everything's back in, plugs are in, the everything's reconnected. All of the coils are reconnected, and now it's just a matter of turning the thing on, and it'll probably have a little bit of oil coming out the tailpipe because the car apparently needs a new, the engine needs a new valve cover gasket. Because as I was pulling some of these plug wires off, the plug boots were in the middle were filled with oil. So that's pretty much an indication of a bad valve cover gasket. The valve cover gaskets on this car are actually pretty what would I say, complicated. They're under a hell of a lot of wires. So I don't fancy doing that job, but it's something that I'm going to keep a note of, and we'll do it in the future. So you'll join me in 1 week after I've driven the car and see if it gets any better with the 93 octane and with new spark plugs. So we'll see you then. Okay, gang, so it's been a week, and the check engine light has not come back on. Now, I should probably mention that after installing the new spark plugs and putting the full tank of gas in there, I did clear out the check engine light. But one thing I did notice is that the car is not warming up, so I have to replace the thermostat. I don't know if that's going to make the check engine light come back on, but so far, in terms of the way that the car runs, it does run a lot better. It doesn't seem to hesitate. So that was actually a pretty easy fix. Now, I didn't talk about how expensive the spark plugs were. They were $18 a piece. NKG, Iridium are the standard spark plug. And because this was a job where I was doing the work myself, I said, all right, I'll buy the more expensive OEM plug, just because I don't want to buy a cheaper plug and have the fix not work and then think it's something else and then throw more parts at it. So that was my philosophy. But so far so good, and well, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video.